Welcome back to the lecture series on Introduction to AWS. As part of this lecture series, we will be focusing on types of storage classes, various storage classes in S3. Why we do require this topic is in order to optimize our cost. If we know better which storage class can optimize our cost or which storage class can be used at what particular point of time, then we can optimize the cost of this particular storage. Moving ahead, basically these storage classes is mostly applied on the objects. Then what is an object? It is just like a file which has certain data, and you can apply a particular storage class on this particular data. Basically how frequently you are accessing a particular object. Based on that, if you are not accessing any object very frequently or infrequently, if you are accessing in last 30 days or in last 90 days or in last 1 year or twice in a year, then we can have a particular type of storage class based on how frequently you are accessing an object. So this S3 offers a range of storage classes for handling the objects. These storage classes are associated with the objects, and a range of storage classes are going to be provided by Amazon. You can choose depending on your use case scenario. Use case scenario means in every 30 days I will be accessing my data only once, or in 90 days or in 1 year. That is a various use cases, how frequently you are going to access the data, and all these are the various storage classes. If you are going with standard, you do have general purpose or infrequent access or frequently accessed, which is general, or else single zone. What does it mean, single zone, and what is the difference between this and this or all these with the single zone is, if you don't think that data is that much important and you need not to replicate the data, then you can go with one zone. Basically we know that in India we do have Mumbai as a region, and this region has 3 availability zones. What does it means? At 3 different locations in Mumbai, we do have data center of Amazon, and when you are storing something into one particular availability zone, then data will be replicated in all the 3 availability zones in that particular region only to adapt the disaster recovery or to overcome the fault tolerance, or else to provide high availability, that is which Amazon is quoting for 99.9999999 times. To achieve this, Amazon in the backend, without knowing hers, it will replicate the data into 3 availability zones of a particular region. If you don't want to happen that, you can adapt this one zone, as well as you can have intelligent tiering, glacier and glacier deer packet. We will be focusing on one by one these things, but prior to that, as we have discussed that this is going to be associated, just like this is my AWS dashboard and I am opening S3 bucket. In this S3 bucket, let us create a bucket. So you can click on create bucket, and you should have a unique identifier, just like today is some day of some month of some year. Let us see whether this bucket is available or not. ACL, as I said you that it manages the ACL permissions, as well as it manages who can have access and who cannot have an access. I acknowledge, and I said you that it maintains the versioning. You can enable this versioning. In our previous session, we were discussing about versioning. I will be showing you what is versioning. Create the bucket. So my bucket has been created successfully. It means that whatever name which I had given, that is 11th June. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, 11th June. I am opening it. So this has no data. I will be uploading some data over here, that is objects. Bucket has been created. Now we are focusing on the second component, that is objects. Add a file. You can add anything. Now when you are adding this, you can see that this particular object, right? I will be selecting this. Yeah, you can just scroll down, properties. When you are just opening the properties, and I said you that unique identifier, you can just cancel it. Yeah, storage classes. By default, it gets into a standard. What does it means? This will be available in 3 availability zones. You can see over here, it is available in more than 3 availability zones. If you are going to store that a file using standard general purpose, then it will be replicating the data into minimum 3 or greater than 3. And we do have intelligent, standard, infrequently accessed, one zone. That means it will replicate the data only in one particular zone, not more than that. And you do have, just exit, glacier instant, glacier flexible, deep archive and reduced redundancy. All these are the storage classes, and based on the duration also you can see. If you are going with intelligent standard, then there is no specific timeline. But if you are going with standard infrequent access, then at least in last 30 days you are going to access once, or else if you are going with glacier, then 90 days. If you are going with deep archive, this one, then it means that in last 130 at least once in a 180 days I will be accessing my data. And there is a limited, if you are going with infrequently access or glacier, then the minimal file size should be 128 KB. That is not the case with standard or intelligent tiering. And you can have the pay per GB fees apply. If you are going for retrieval from standard infrequent access to glacier deep archive, they are going to charge you based on per GB. Whereas coming to this standard, they are not going to charge you as such for retrieval, but for storage they are going to charge you highly. But coming to this 5 till 5 GB, you will not get charged. If you are exceeding 5 GB of storage on S3, then they are going to start charging. All these are the various storage classes which is applied when you are uploading a particular file. That means when you are loading an object into the bucket, then you can associate a storage class out of these things. Basically I don't want deep archive, I will go with standard. You can have tags, you can have metadata, everything optional. If you are not providing it, then Amazon is going to create one. Now the data is getting uploaded, which is of 2 MB, the size of file 2.8 MB. This is successful. Fine. Let's close this. Let us upload the same file once again. Upload, add files. You can upload folders also. I am uploading the same file once again. This time I am not going to dash, just upload. I had uploaded the same file for twice. Why have been done this is to showcase you the what is versioning over here. Yeah, buckets. Mine is June 11th June. If you can, you could see this. Hope so. Show versioning. If you are going to just tap on that, you can see that show versions. Unit 4 PPT has been uploaded twice. One is at 11:53:3 and 11:53:38. This is the latest one, latest upload. So this is how the this thing is maintaining. If you are going to delete this particular file, yes, I want to delete this. Just type delete, delete object. So object has been successfully deleted. Close this, and if you are getting into buckets, if you are clicking on show versions, you can see that delete marker. If you are selecting this and if you are deleting from here permanently, then the file gets deleted. Otherwise, you can retrieve back that particular file. Just I will delete, permanently delete. You can see this. Previously it was only delete, but this time it is permanently delete. This is how we can work with our objects and the storage classes. Coming back to this, let's see one by one. S3 standard. If you want the data should be accessed very frequently, then we are going to select S3 standard. At the same time, when we are requiring high throughput with low latency, latency means the read time or write time should be less, read or write time. At that time we will be using S3 standard, as well as you can have adapt an automated lifecycle policy for the buckets through bucket lifecycle, as well as the use cases where we are going to use this storage class is when you want to distribute your content, or when you are having a machine learning type of analytical job, or else if you are working with mobile or gaming applications, then basically in these are the certain scenarios where we are going to adapt standard storage class of S3. When we are focusing on intelligent tiering, it does means that when Amazon thinks or S3 thinks that certain object is being very much infrequently accessed past 30 days or past 90 days, when Amazon treats certain object or certain bucket, then it will just automatically shift that particular tier from frequently to infrequently to reduce the cost on the customers. This happens automatically. This is going to be managed automatically by S3. If you are storing the object by associating a storage class intelligent tiering, when you don't know that how much frequently you are going to access a particular data or an object, then you can adapt this storage class where Amazon is going to manage based on the access frequency of a particular object. Third one, infrequent access. If you are associating this particular storage class with any of the object, then Amazon thinks that you are infrequently going to access this particular thing, but whenever you access, that should be rapidly accessed without any delay. That means low latency should be maintained. Basically what happens in Glacier is that when you are storing in Glacier or deep archive, the latency is going to be more, whereas coming to infrequent access, it is part of standard only, it will have a rapid access to your objects. When you are focusing on Glacier, then as I said you that when we do have larger amount of data, more than terabytes of data or petabytes of data, you can go with Glacier, but over here read or write is going to be very slow, as this will be stored very much in an archive structure. In remaining things they are not going to archive, but in Glacier especially, they are going to archive your data. You can see here. Whereas coming to deep archive, when certain applications such as weather forecasting or health records or something, where certain analysis can be done on the data sets which are based on previous 10 years or 100 years or something, then you can go with deep archive, where these data sets are going to be stored very much deep in the in a archive structure, where to retrieve it itself it takes a huge amount of time. And this is basically when you want to just back up the data, then you can go with this storage class, that is Glacier Deep Archive. And this is a comparison chart between all these storage classes, where the durability of all these things are going to be 99.11 times 9, and whereas availability is 99.90 is a minimum most. But coming to Glacier, as I said you that it will be in archive structure. This might you can retrieve the data based on 1 minute, or it may takes 48 hours of time. It varies between this. The data which is stored in Glacier or Glacier Deep Archive, the data can be retrieved based on the size. It can be retrieved in 1 minute, or it may take 48 hours of time. So that is the thing with Glacier and Glacier Deep Archive. And coming to minimum object size, that we have already seen. Coming to intelligent, standard and Glacier, we do have, sorry, not Glacier, infrequent and intelligent, you do have a file size limit. At least it should be 128 KB of size, at least, it is not the at most. And coming to minimum, if you are choosing this storage class, there is no minimum duration, because it is highly charged. Coming to intelligent, it should be 30 days. That means in last 30 days you have not yet accessed that particular data, or in a 30 days you might have once access to the data. Coming to Glacier or Deep Archive, it can be 90 days or more than 90 days. Coming to the latency of access, it all these are part of standard, so it will be milliseconds. Whereas coming to Glacier, it may take 4 hours of minimum time. Coming to retrieval, we don't have any fees for intelligent and standard, but from standard infrequent access, for GB retrieval you are going to be charged. For storage you are going to be charged, as well as for retrieval. Whereas coming to standard and intelligent, you are going to be charged for storage itself. They are not going to charge for retrieval. That's it from this session. Thank you.